Hi everyone, my name's Ryan Keeling, and Kelsey's always on me about participating in the adventures of online. I thought I would give you just a really quick demonstration, or just I guess I already moved them. There wouldn't be much of a demonstration, but an example of what I'm doing. This is not for everybody in their operation, but if you are a sheep farmer, this could fit your scale depending on how large you are of an operator. You start needing X amount of rams to cover your ewes. This probably won't suffice, but for us in our current scenario, it's working fine. We don't have much for facilities of anything. So I built this 2 or 3 years ago with a concept called the Ram-borghini. I want to say I got the idea a really long time ago from, I can't say his name, Neil Dennis or something. Some high density grazer from Canada guy or something. It's where I first heard about it maybe, but it's worked out pretty good. So, there'd be some things I'd change. So I'll try to keep this video from 2 hours long, but I pull it with this little Ford tractor. You don't need much to pull it at all. I guess that's the one change off the top, is that I would make it on casters to where you don't have to pull it with a tractor. And I still may modify this one in the future. This is 2x2 square tubing. This is good stuff, good thick stuff. I don't know what this is thickness wise, but it's fairly thick. I think it's probably overkill. These rams don't need a whole lot. They're not bulls. So, but we used horse paneling, so 2x2s. And I thought that was really good because it just eliminates, it's also predator protection too. I really like that about it. Using 2x2, nothing can really get into them. This is my gate that I built. This has been okay. It's not perfect, I don't know. The guy was smart enough, you could make like a slide gate, would be even better, because when I got to back a little trailer up to this thing to load the sheep in and out and do whatever I need to do, you got to mess with this is the latch system. You can do any latch system you want. I stole this. I think they sold this at Orscheln's, which is just a really simple design, but that literally just flops and flops. So I just welded it on there. I put a 2-inch raise on the back side. I didn't put that flush to the ground. When I was pulling out of the shed after I built it, I caught it on something and bent it right there. As soon as I built the thing, I bent it. So that was a bummer, but it didn't affect the functionality of it. But the gap here underneath, the little 4-inch gap, that's so, because you don't want to snag this thing as you're pulling it on stumps. And I've cut a lot of trees out here, and you try to flush cut them, but you get a hold of a stump, you're pulling the thing apart in theory. But I didn't do a great job here, but it's what I did. If you could make a truss or know what a truss is, at the time I don't even think I knew what a truss was, but supported it better. But that's my center run there. And I like the shade. The shade's a good idea, and maybe you just use shade cloth instead of doing what I did. I don't know why I put the T-posts up there. I don't know what I was thinking. I think I spanned it with T-posts. Look at that. So that was how I tried to support the whole thing. So, yeah, it works, but there's probably a better way to do that. I'm just using what I had. This is probably one of the biggest pains of the whole system, is that you got to keep water out here to these rams. In the heat of summer, they'll go through the water. I don't know if anybody has a suggestion for me. Maybe, I've seen gravity feed options where, I could weld something up over here with a 55-gallon barrel and fill it, and then it auto feeds into a bucket. Maybe that's a better option for me, but pulling it with a tractor, I guess, is fine. But if you were gonna then go to a hand push one with caster wheels, you'd probably get pretty heavy. So it's all how you want to do it. So we have to lug out 5-gallon buckets every so often. I'd say they take a 5-gallon bucket a day right now. And that does go down in winter. You know, we have 3 waters out here. I try to keep them fairly clean. You know, I don't know. Just cleanliness is good. I guess one of my favorite things about this is, I hope you can see that, yeah. The graze line. I move these, since we have this many sheep in here, I move them twice a day. You know, just so they do well. If you had less sheep in here, you could only move it once a day, which would be even nicer, you know. The less chores, the better, but you got to do what you got to do. But we're getting really good manure distribution across this little field. This is a really woodsy area, and so there's a lot of tree, you know, type stuff trying to come. So probably when they're done grazing everything out, I'll probably brush hog this down, clean it all up. But the sheep love brush. Sheep love brush. So it's really good for them. They enjoy it. But if you're curious what's in here, it's our mature ram that we've bred our flock to the last 2 or 3 years, I believe. He's an Aussie white. This is a bottle baby thing from last year, 23. We're in 24, so yeah, that's a bottle baby thing. And he wasn't respecting fences because they're stink butts, and so he got put in jail, which is this. The other ram in front there, so that front one is a half-blood ram that we left alone. We'll probably go ahead and castrate him in the near future, and he will be food. And then the other 2 rams in here are our embryo transfer rams. So we're really excited about them. They are the 2 that are going to breed our lambs, or excuse me, our ewes this coming winter for next spring. So it's really exciting. They've grown really well. They've done really well. We're just excited about the breed. We really think that they're an awesome breed. They thrive and do lots of good things on minimal inputs, and that's important in today's society for sure, because inputs are ever escalating. So, but yeah, I guess the other thing I'd like to mention about this Ram-borghini, this one's like, I forget, maybe 16 foot wide. So that's kind of a pain too. I guess if I build another one, which I probably will in the future, I would build it more narrow, like maybe like 8 foot, and just build it longer potentially. You know, so the square footage may not change, but I would skinny it up so you can go through gates and you can do other things with it that I can't currently do. So that's definitely one thing that I would change. And to be honest, if you wanted to save some dollars, you could cut this thing in half. They're not using the air. You could use half a panel, and you'd use half as many panels, because these panels are like, I don't know what they are right now, but they're like 90 bucks or something. I mean, they're expensive panels. These horse panels are nice. You know, they're 2x2, so they're really nice, but you know, that's a lot of money. So if you split it in half and made it only like 36 inches tall, and you'd save on your metal and you'd save on everything. I added these little side gussets to support my side walls up top. But what else? That's the majority about it. Oh, I was gonna say this too. You know, we're also gonna, I'll have to take another video this winter, but the cool thing about this is that you could do hyper selective breeding, and all I mean by that fancy phrasing is that we got a few Aussie white females. Well, we can selectively put those females in here with the ram we want for them to breed. And so not only does it work to keep our rams away from our ewes, it also works to get specific females bred to specific rams. And so there's a double benefit. I've used this thing more than you can imagine. I've used it on bottle calves. We've used it on bottle lambs. I have just used the snot out of this thing, and I've used it so much that I'm actually going to build a second one at some point, because It's just that handy for different scenarios where we need somewhere to put something. We used it for our embryo transfer females, or the females that we put our embryos in. We separated out and put in there here over the winter, and fed them a little special, meaning that they got some hay along with moving the structure around in the winter. So that allowed some goodie there to be used in that way. And it was good because I could load out of it and do different things, because on the embryo transfers we had to give some shots. So I could back the trailer up to it, we could give the shots in the trailer and put them back in the structure, and it's just been really handy. Check this thing out. That is a big old spider. So it's also a habitat producing, I won't go that far, but anyways, that is a massive garden spider. Man, that's a big spider. Yeah, this is my hitch, just a 2-inch ball hitch. That's from Harbor Freight, the hitch is, and then I Frankenstein together the rest of it. That's a jack, and you know what, now that I'm thinking about that, I do not use that jack almost ever, because this is kind of how I use it off this 3-point to just lift this front end up. My initial theory was to pull it, to not lift it at all, and I find it easier to lift the front end of the structure up and move it that way. But yeah, thank you for listening to the ramble. If you hung around this long, we're excited about these sheep and about a future in sheep. So stay tuned for more, and God bless you.